correct memory, because you were there when we heard this story.
Yeah.
Was it him that used to shit in the hamburger steak?
Yes.
Okay. And he was the one who jacked off Ric Flair with a coat hanger, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just wasn't sure. I want to make
Yeah.
sure I had that right.
Yeah. That's really old school shit. If you think about it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't hear any stories about guys jacking each other off with coat hangers in 2024. I think it's from a bygone era. These days, they just slide up and play fucking 2K on their PS5 instead of getting a wire coat hanger out and jacking each other off like some goddamn real men. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking
And,
losers.
and
No
and
flag.
if you would shit in the
Hamburger steak.
and the hamburger steak, yeah, then you'd probably be fired by now. Now back then they just say no one eats after Johnny goes through, please.
I'll tell you this: if somebody shit in my hamburger steak, I would
Mhm.
just tell anybody who would listen I was scared for my life, because you're not supposed to be doing that. You can't be eating shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm 43. I made it to 43. Didn't eat shit not one time. Not once.
Yeah, right. That's right.
James Elcross says, not to pry, but during this holiday season, are you going to be able to have time to spend time with your family? I think these more present times have been easier to give the holiday break time off. Of course, we're talking about how wrestling has kind of changed. Once upon a time, Christmas night was a big deal in wrestling. And
Yeah.
actually talked about that with Jeff Jarrett earlier this week on his podcast, My World, that when the territories went away and it sort of became just the WWF and WCW, it felt like those Christmas night shows were few and far between. The last one I saw was 1991, where Ultimo Dragon beat Brian Pillman to become the WCW light heavyweight champion. That happened on Christmas night, 1991. But really, there's not much else that's happened on Christmas night since. I mean, there's been things that aired on Christmas night, but as far as a live show, like we used to see in World Class with Ric Flair and the Von Erichs and all that, do you remember that going away during or when the territories went away, or am I off base and there were WCW shows? I just don't remember them.
No, I think when you as we moved along, I'm not so sure. Maybe when Bischoff took over, he stopped running the Omni on Christmas Day.
Okay.
I may be wrong about that. I'm sure there would be something maybe on Cage Match that would tell us differently. But now today, like for instance, we're going to be taping for Christmas Day the weekend before, and at Hammerstein Ballroom. So there's still going to be wrestling Christmas night. It just won't be live.
Hey, I'm glad you mentioned that, because it was just announced that as a part of this Continental Classic, since you and I've been recording, Tony Khan has posted to let the world know that this weekend, Will Ospreay is going to be hooking up with Ricochet at Hammerstein Ballroom. It's all happening this weekend on Collision. As I understand it, only a handful of tickets remain. And if you've never seen wrestling in Hammerstein Ballroom, boy, you're missing out. Make it a priority to go see this. First of all, what a dream match that is. And to know it's happening in a historic building like that,
Right.
that's real wrestling history. Sign me up at AEWTIX.com. And don't forget to tune in to Turner Stations this weekend for Collision, Ricochet and Ospreay. My goodness.
That's going to be spectacular. And once again, just the talent that we have had in this tournament has been as good as any I've seen. Well, Brother Love is calling in Hulk Hogan.
How cool is this, dude?
Yeah, even Brutus the Barber Beefcake's with him.
That's his sidekick, man. And look at the belt here. This is before WrestleMania 6, so it's still a dual-plated winged eagle. Of course, after WrestleMania 6, we're just going to see the gold plate. So we've only got a handful more months of this dual-plated version. And I think that's one of the best-looking wrestling titles of all time right there, man.
Yeah. No question.
I got to find an actual ring used one from back then. I've never been able to find one, Tony.
Huh, really?
Yep. I mean, it's harder to find than a goddamn 6-man tag team championship, you know?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we were in St. Louis and I saw Brian Bowringer for the first
Who'd
time.
he ever beat?
Well, he's the one that I gave the 6-man belt to.
And what'd you say? Did you kick him in the dick and get my shit back, or what?
No, I didn't. I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He said, "Good." And we hugged. I said, "Good to see you." He said, "Good to see you." And that was it.
You really don't give a fuck about me at all, do you?
Oh, I do a lot. And that's as I was walking away, I thought 6-man belt. But he lives in St. Louis now, so I don't know if he has any connections with the Padres or not.
You know, I know a guy who lives in St. Louis. You do too.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, tomorrow he turns the big 5-0.
Does he really?
Yeah, the big
Yeah.
5-0.
Good. Great for him. And look at Brutus the Barber Beefcake's hair.
It looks great, doesn't it?
Yeah, doesn't it look great?
If you had to do a car ride with one of the three men on screen right now, I'm talking present day in 2024.
Oh, it'd be
And you're
Brutus.
going to do a 6-hour road trip. Would you pick Brutus the freaking Barber Beefcake? Would you pick the immortal Hulk Hogan? Or would you pick Brother Love?
It would be Brother Love from what
Yeah.
all he has seen and gone through in wrestling. My God. My God.
I know it's not your jam to ride around listening to wrestling podcasts, but have you had a chance to catch any of John Layfield filling in for Bruce Pritchard yet?
No.
I highly recommend you do.
I bet it's entertaining.
I think you're going to love Layfield.
Okay.
I think he's going to be your kind of dude.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Dustin Johns wants to know, would you rather invite James to Christmas dinner or to eat shit?
I would rather invite James to Christmas dinner.
I think he was hoping you would ask him to eat shit.
Okay.
I don't know what we're doing here.
Well, I don't know what we're doing here either.
Coach Keith says, since it's almost Christmas time and Jesse the Body, what are the best memories of you two calling Starrcade 93? Man, what an incredible show that was. It was at what's now the Bojangles Coliseum, Charlotte, North Carolina. The incredible build up to that match, not just with the recap of Flair's career, not just with the punishing videos of Vader, but the limo ride to the building where we would see Ric Flair kiss his family goodbye, hop in the back of the limo with Mean Gene. And then, man, they just had a bloodbath out there. I mean, really punching each other for real, the hard way. It was a fun battle, and you got a front row seat for it. What'd you think?
Well, my favorite part was the limousine ride, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I know they had a great match, and I know it was a lot of fun, and I know it was a special moment for Flair and for the family and everything. But I just remember there's one part I remember as Flair turns around to say goodbye to the family again. Gene Okerlund says, "Come on, Rick, we got to go." And just that line sticks with me about, Gene, like Flair didn't really, really want to go do this, or he was, and Gene said, "Come on, Ricky, we got to go." So that's I remember the limousine ride. I thought that was really, really well done. And of course, you're taking a look at one of the greats of all time, Ric Flair, and the greatest stick man of all time, Gene Okerlund, in the car together. That's pretty special. That's my memory.